Someone who is on the ground is Bob Pop. He's a public relations and disaster services director for the Salvation Army. He is in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and is on the phone. Bob, thank you for joining us. Let me find out, first of all, what are you seeing on the ground there?
Well, what I'm seeing is absolute chaos and pandemonium at our two compounds, which are located just a couple of miles from the palace and sort of at ground zero. The entire neighborhood has been devastated. I walked through the neighborhood earlier today. I saw bodies. We're treating people at a small triage unit that we have. They're pulling bodies out of the debris, still alive, miraculously, and they're bringing them to us to be for treatment. It is absolute chaos and pandemonium.
Bob, you said you have a small triage set up. Tell me how many staff members you have helping you. And we have this report from the organization Doctors Without Borders, they've reported that all of the hospitals in Port-au-Prince where you are have either been abandoned or completely destroyed.
Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced that. I was driving home in the midst of this terrible disaster, and I don't know how I got out of it alive. Quite frankly, I watched the buildings pancake down one on top of another. It was absolutely the most horrific thing I've ever seen. And I only have 4 volunteers who are working at this triage unit at the moment because most people can't get here. The transportation is non-existent, and things are very difficult.
Bob, you and your small team, I'm sure, doing everything that you can possibly do to help those people and keep things together there. We know that the president just a short time ago says that the United States will do everything it can to assist there. But at this moment, what can be done? I mean, you have 4 people there. Again, you're doing what you can. But assess for us again what can be done immediately.
Well, what has to happen immediately is we have to get food and water into this community, and not just our community, but certainly our community. There are thousands of people here, and they don't have anything to eat, and they don't have any water to drink. And somehow we have to find a way to bring the military, somebody to get water and food into the community. The Salvation Army is flying a team of experts in right now to help us with on-the-ground logistics once we get the materials and the resources to be able to help. I heard someone say something about tents earlier, and tents are absolutely needed. Thousands and thousands of tents are going to be needed because people are in the sun, and at night they're in the cool air, and we're going to have many more casualties.
The president of Haiti, Rene Preval, has given an interview, and he said, while also assessing the damage, that he literally, as you were saying, walked over the bodies of people in the street and heard people crying from under the rubble.
Yes. Yes, I didn't sleep last night. I walked through the neighborhood, and just down the street from where we are, a massive fire broke out in one of the homes that had already been pretty much destroyed by the earthquake. And there were thousands of people in the streets, and the wails and the moaning and the crying of people who were desperate was overwhelming, to be honest. I understand exactly what the president was talking about.
And you are trained for disasters, and as you pointed out, this is unimaginable even for your expertise. Bob, this is not an hour-by-hour story. This is a minute-by-minute. What do you have at least planned for you and your team, at least over the next hour or two?
Well, our focus right now is the triage of these families who are coming to us with their babies and with their mothers and with the injured, and we're trying to see all of them that we can, treating the most critical first. We're trying to provide some shade. The sun here is very hot. It's very intense today. In the midst of all that, we're having aftershocks. And just a few minutes ago, I had to scramble for cover because I was near a building I didn't want to be, but I'm trying to be near the internet. So we're trying to stay alive, and we're trying to plan for tonight, which is also difficult.
Right. Well, Bob, our hearts are heavy for you and all of the people there in Haiti. Thank you very much for talking with us, and we hope to be in contact with you throughout the day to get the latest information on what's happening with you and your small team. We're working very hard to help those and rescue as many people as possible. Thank you, Bob.